Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to talk about something that is basically a consequence of a certain scene from way back in the second season. But before we're going to do so, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Also please check out my fantasy channel. Now with that said, our little story starts with a former chieftain of the Lizardmen visiting Ainz for an audience with the Sorcerer King himself. During all of this, Ainz remarked how tiresome all of the procedures, protocols, and the etiquette felt to him, while finally Kyuku Zuzu appears. That was the guy that survived putting on the dragonbone armor, and that was now completely healed from any and all intelligence loss the armor had incurred. Now with that said, during his report, he also mentioned that Saryusu and Lulu had a child that was just as weirdly colored as Lulu herself. And this was something that sparked Ainz Ooal's greed as a collector. He was happy that he now got another rare lizardman living in his realm. But he wished that they were more, because remember, in our world, lizardmen lay dozens of eggs. Lizards lay dozens of eggs. In our world, lizards lay dozens of eggs, while in the new world of Overlord, the Lizardmen just have one single child, or perhaps 2 or 3, which is far more akin to the man part than to the lizard part of them. So therefore, Ainz wanted to ensure that Saryusu would still be able to father more children. Now, all of this was also happening during the time Ainz was preparing to go to the Dwarf Kingdom for runecraft, another from Ainz Ooal's point of view rare and very potentially important form of magic was located and practiced there. So this is one of the rare moments Ainz experiences a little bit of characterization, and we see that collecting rare loot is something that's just part of him. And all of this also makes it a lot more clearer why it had been Ainz Ooal's own personal NPC, Pandora's Actor, who manages the treasury of the Great Tomb of Nezarick, because Ainz passed on his drive to collect rare items to Pandora, even if he now has trouble remembering this himself now. And that's also where the spoiler part now begins, because Ainz Ooal noticed the huge potential for more rare lizardmen that Saryusu and Lulu's relationship has. By the way, he literally managed to impregnate her during the first time, in front of an audience, because you could always kinda feel if you were being watched through the mirror of remote viewing. So I respect that lizard a lot. And therefore, once Ainz Ooal had entered the last dwarven city and met up with the smiths, he had commissioned full plate armor for Saryusu and the other former lizardman chieftains. And he provided the dwarf runesmith with a very rare metal from Yggdrasil, but the dwarf had problems working with these metals since he couldn't smelt or even form them. And later, after the dwarves were saved by the power of love, friendship and just kidding, Sheltier killed 90% of the Quagoar, and the rest is now a subject species just as broken as Jerknif is now. But after the dwarf arc was almost over, Ainz learned that the dwarf smith has taken his materials and left for an unknown location. And this is a mystery that thus far hasn't even been solved yet. So where this story arc will lead, I have no idea. And with this little tease at the end, I will end this video, and I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to all of my Patreons for supporting this channel.